Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Prancing Pony Podcast Plays. Thank you for joining me this evening. I've been looking forward to this, and we're going to get going soon as we continue the adventures of Hilbern the River Hobbit. We're near the very end of the next to last chapter in the first book of Epic Quests. So we'll do the end of that book tonight for sure, and we'll see, we might be able to go ahead and get started in the last book. And we'll see, hopefully we'll be able to get through that tonight and Saturday, because next Tuesday is Tales of the Shire. We'll have to put this on the shelf for a little while. So that should be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to that. And Katie, thank you for sending those notes over. I'm not sure that I'll be able to reference them because they're also on the same chat that we have for you to send messages to me. So I'd have to figure out how to have both up. So probably won't have that, but you can copy paste stuff if I get completely lost, but I think I'll be fine. So how's everybody doing this evening? Welcome. Any questions for me? Any exciting Tolkien news from anyone? Anybody going to San Diego Comic-Con next week to, I know there's not a lot of Tolkien stuff, but I understand there's going to be a OneRing.net panel with Middle-earth Enterprises and Weta Workshop. You are right on. Well, you're going to enjoy that for sure. I will, of course, be talking with some Weta folks tomorrow, including Leonard Ellis, one of the sculptors. And in fact, in preparation for that, I've gone ahead and unboxed one more fairly sizable sculpture that it was a little too unwieldy to try to do an unboxing. I'd actually seen an unboxing before, and without really having a couple of different cameras set up in a fairly large table, it wasn't going to work. But I'll just slide out of the way and let you take a look at the Doors of Durin from one Leonard Ellis at Weta Workshop. It is a fantastic sculpt. It's a little hard to see from here, I understand, but it is a fantastic, very detailed sculpt with all the branches and clumps of leaves and things on the holly trees that are dying outside the door there, and of course the lit doors, the Ithildine. So let's take a look real quick. Yes, indeed, Tales of the Shire is shipping soon. Hopefully, I will get my code soon, enabling me to maybe get a little bit of time in before release so that I can tell you a little bit more about it on Tuesday. And thank you, Katie. When you email me, please also remind me to see if I can reach out to Weta about that, about the Tales of the Shire. So, all right. Well, if there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and head on over to the other screen here. We're going to go ahead and get this going. And of course, that does mean turning off the chat overlay. I will keep chat up, of course, so that I can see what's going on and see if I drop out again like I have before. Right. Let's go ahead and pull up. It's a little loud for now. Okay, it's a lot loud, but you know, it's menu music. It's always going to be a little louder. Hassel, my adventures have been well. We'll see about Hilbern's adventure shortly. So as we wrapped up last week, we were given the quest, Book 14, Chapter 15, The Doom of the North. We need to reach Mirabel to try to stop Amarthiel from forging Narhuil. And poor Laterdan is already on his way. Now, of course, the quest is, like so many of these, meant for a fellowship, but that'll be fine. I'll get some inspiration. Now, the thing about Mirabel is it is not here in Rivendell. We have to get there. So let's find our way. Well, we're not gonna break ankles. We're gonna fall right on the ramp. We're not gonna walk all the way to Mirabel. I promise that. No, we'll I think we want to take a little bit of a journey, so we'll go down to the stable riders, and I think what we'll do, so to show you on the map where we're at, if we go out of Rivendell, we end up in the Trollshaws, and if we go down this road, we find ourselves in Eregion. Now, we have not been to Eregion yet here on the PPP Plays, so it's an entirely new region. I want to make sure we at least see it. So I'm going to go ahead and make my way, I think. Well, I do want to get close, but I want to actually see us get into Eregion. That was sort of a moment with the fellowship and seeing the three peaks and all of that. So, seeing the Holland Ridge and then seeing behind it the three peaks of Moria. So I think what I'd like to do, if I can, is get maybe to Echad Candelith and just follow the road down from there. All right. We'll go there swiftly. It is quite the tricksy walk, actually. Yeah. In fact, I may need your assistance if we lose the path, especially since it's night in the game. I think it just turned night, right? Yeah, it's evening, so we still have a very long time before we'll yeah, it'll be a while before we see daylight again. All right. Maybe what we could do is go to, I don't want to go all the way to Gwingris. Yeah, let's go on not swift travel. So we'll take a horse to Gwingris, so at least we'll see the territory, but we won't get lost. So we're in the Trollshaws now, and we're going to make our way south, just like the Fellowship did. Yeah, Eregion is wonderful once we get there. It's not anywhere near as convoluted and tricky to get around as, say, the Misty Mountains, Trollshaws, or even Angmar. It's And it's nowhere near as difficult to get around as Forochel. So we're just going to make our way there. So you can see on the map that we've left Echad Kendeleth and are heading south. We're actually heading not too far from Garbert's cottage that we've seen before. And we're going to cross the river and go along the east side of the shore and then join that road going south to Region. That road will then lead us here to Gwingris. In fact, we're already on the map. Look at that. I remember as a kid reading The Lord of the Rings the first time and pronouncing it like Erigion or Erigion. Well, Harji, so Erigion. Okay. It's a little dark here. I think a lot of people just like Erigion, but it is Region. First post-surgery attempt. Good for you, Nate. I hope you recover well. Yeah, so it's taking us to the north so that we can get onto the that little elvish settlement there. See, do I need to get any of the... No, it's master tier, so we're well above it. Okay. Deed bestowed. Find all the places here in Region. Okay. So here we are at the north end of the map. Down here is the Holland Ridge. We came in through this road rather than this one. I don't even know. Katie, can you remind me where that road actually leads? I don't think you can get there. Oh, do you get there from someplace like... You don't go through Giant Valley or anything to get that road? Maybe that goes... I don't know. I've never taken that road. But we will, when it's daylight, which might not happen in tonight's stream, see the mountains, the Misty Mountains off in the distance, including the three peaks over Moria. Let's take a look real quick and see if there's anything. Nope. All right. As you can see, there are some connecting regions. We're not that far from Swan Fleet, where we started the game. And in fact, if you remember when we were at Karasgelabren, we're not very far from that. We are going to be visiting Tam Mirdain. So that's just here to the east of the words Karasgelabren. So you might remember that from our time in Swan Fleet. Also on this map, of course, the Vales of Anduin on the other side of the Misty Mountains, Moria itself, and you can also go further south and go to Enedwise. So this is a real meeting point for everything. All right. Then I moved this because, of course, it was in the way. This is where we're headed, down to the southwest of this map. So we're going to make our way down through Glad Ereg into High Holland, past Echad Region. We'll grab the stables there and keep on going south. We're not going to head over to the walls of Moria quite yet. We'll eventually have to get there to get our legendary gear and all of that. That's sort of like the gate quests. You know, like we have to get to that level. It has nothing to do. I mean, I could get to level 70. It wouldn't matter. If I don't complete certain quests, I won't have access to the legendaries. But that's not tonight. Tonight, we're going to go west from Nansiranon and head our way through Low Holland over to Echad Mirabel. And on the far side of that elvish settlement is where the quest begins. So, any questions? It's a side path you take from the fords that goes into Region. Of course, that would have been nice to actually do. Yeah. Oh, from the fords of Bruinen. Yeah. So maybe interesting. Okay. Well, we didn't do that. We're here in Region, and we're going to make our way south and then head over to Echad Mirabel. Make sure to get the stables. Yep, I've already grabbed the stables here at Gwingris. I'll make sure to grab the ones at Echad Region and the ones at Echad Mirabel. All right. Ost in Ethel? That's a very good question. Why? Well, I mean, I'm not sure if Ost in Ethel, where that was physically located, whether that would have been located where Echad Mirabel is, or whether that's maybe where Echad Region is. But, well, it would have been Echad Mirabel because that's near the water. So, yeah, that would have been Ost in Ethel. Maybe they just didn't have the rights to the name. I'm not particularly concerned about the upcoming. I mean, I'm sure they're going to nerf the hunter, right? But I don't think you're going to be nerfing it when it comes to player versus environment. Normal quests. They're going to be maybe making some adjustments that will hurt the hunter in endgame raids and things like that. But I don't do any endgame content, so I'm not particularly worried, even for my capped characters. Though I suppose I should be. Is a ruins for the capital of the region. Tam Mirabel. Not Tam Mirdine? Karaskarabren was the in-game Ostinethil. I don't know. I'm going to have to let you all solve that one. All right. Now, though, let's go ahead and head south. I don't think we're going to pick up any quests along here. Yeah, these are all... This is a great one, though. This is such a fun one to do because you actually follow the company's path through Oregion. There's a series of quests where you find their campsite and you find all these little visual reminders of the events that the company experienced on their way through Oregion to Moria. But we will not be doing that. Today we will be going and just tackling the epic quest as usual. Just checking over here. Yeah. My understanding, Lol Drift, is that there is an update coming with Hunter and Burglar, I think, being significantly changed. But my experience has been, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the case this time or not, but my experience has been that usually those changes aren't overly drastic for most of the game. They typically impact end game raids and stuff like that. Maybe changing the way you would play your character in those moments. But again, I'm really not a pro at that because I don't do that stuff. So, yep, Katie makes a very good point. Take screenshots of your trait trees because they do reset. I take that as an opportunity to kind of sort of make sure I'm really building my trait tree the way I want it. So I actually am perfectly happy for it. Good evening, Bruce. Welcome, sir. Crowns in chat. That must be a feature on... I don't know. All right. We are going to keep on walking. We're following this path. Actually, let's go ahead and get on a horse. I mean, we'll probably aggro somebody. We're not quite high level enough to where everybody's gray, but you can see they're all green in this part of the region, in this part of the region of Region. So I'm not exactly worried. I just don't want to draw a whole bunch of them and inconvenience you all while we're getting ready to do the story. So while we're heading down through Holland and making our way there, does anybody have any questions in the chat? Questions perhaps about the region of the Region, perhaps about the game, or just something else Tolkien related? Clowns. Well, that wouldn't be wrong for me. I can't speak to everybody else. You remember what the Huorns look like? Remember when we encountered those in Swanfleet, if I remember correctly? Yeah, the path sort of disappears. Oh, that's because it went that way. Not sure where the path is right now. That's not it. I've lost the path. Okay, it looks like we might hit it fairly soon. There it is. Nerdery on the Gwaith Ymiridain. Well, oh, okay. The Gwaith Ymiridain, of course, Mir is jewel. I don't have all my word nerdery memorized, I'm afraid. All right, we're coming up on Echad Region, place where there are usually a ton of quests that get you situated in this area, but we're only going to grab the stable masters and keep going.
What can I do for you?
Just taking a look real quick. Is there a collapsed mountain in the river? Yep, yeah. No, not a collapsed mountain in the river. No. Yeah. The whole Celebrimbor Sauron thread was really fantastic. I mean, not all of that stuff with the siege on Eregion was worth talking about, but that sequence was. All right, let's take a look real quick. Yeah, I'm trying to remember some of my word nerdery and Gwaith Ymiridain. I mean, Mir again, Jewel, Dine. Well, you got Edine, but I don't think it's the same thing. I don't remember. Ask me for word nerdery when I can access my word nerdery tools. Sorry. Because I also don't remember Gwaith, unfortunately. I know. I'm going to have to turn in my podcast card. My podcast hosting skills totally have lost the path. No, it's okay. I am not drinking pickle juice. I'm drinking Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola in a green glass, I suppose. Might be what you're seeing. Aha, here we go. There's the trail. All right. Now entering Tal Karathras. So you'd see, if it were daytime, you could see the mountains over there. We're now entering Low Holland, which is the southern portion of the region, as you can see. Yeah, certainly would never do that. I don't know that there's enough money in the world to get me to drink pickle juice. Where'd the path go? Goodness. It's also night. There's the trail. So we're seeing a lot of half-orcs, right? This is a region where, Saruman is sending his thugs up from the south. That's also why we're seeing a wandering Darkwing. Wing. Crabine from Dunland. That is a great quote from Legolas as he listens to the... Oh. Wow, he didn't see me? Oh, he did. Well then, you're going to have to die. Oh, now I have a quest item, which I'm going to accept only because if I don't, every half-orc I encounter between, anywhere in this region is going to have that item. I eventually, however, will get rid of it because I don't really want it. All right. In fact, we're going to remove it. All right. Let's take a look and see where we're at. We are near the crossroads. We are going to hang ourselves a right here at the trail, which goes along the river gorge. And there we have it. Let me get back on the horse then. Checking the chat in the meantime. Katie, thank you for joining me, by the way. I'll wait for you to... Oh, you're going to get your war steed. Okay. She's very fast on her war steed. I'll do some more nerdery after the game, after we played, on Gwaithimiridain, Region, and any other words that that you all want me to take a quick look at. I don't have those things memorized completely, unfortunately. High hopes for the new film. Hard to say. Hard to say. I mean, it's far enough off that we won't know much about it until we get a lot closer. As to waking up to a Silmarillion adaptation, that won't happen for a very long time. Those rights, Christopher Tolkien is the author of record, and those rights are not going to be sold. And unlike The Lord of the Rings, which will, in theory, go into the public domain in January 1st, 2048. 48? I think so. Death of the author, 73. So 73, so 54. No, hold on. 70 years. So 70 years after 1973 is 2043. So January 1st, 2044. If nothing changes, the works of Tolkien will go into the public domain, and you'll see, all sorts of adaptations without a license, because you won't need one anymore. But you won't see the Silmarillion anytime soon, because those rights. Wow. Okay. Katie. I'm going to follow you, because that's a little confusing here with all the roads and kind of getting up to Echad Mirabel. Is the Worsty just a man behind her with 2 coconut husks? All right, there you are. I'm following you now. Thank you. Because I saw something down below, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't where we're having to head. Thank you for being my guide. That's right. It's the switchbacks. There's Echad Mirabel. And let's grab the stable master. Now, I am going to see if there's anybody here who's got some quests, because if we're going to be in that area, we'll see. It might very well be that I'll end up, fulfilling that one. Is there anybody in here? No. Is the milestone here? Actually, I just grabbed the campsite and use the return to camp feature. All right. Nate, would I ever be interested in writing my own adaptation once in the public domain? Well, since 2044 is 19 years from now, and I will be old, no. I'll be 76 years old, and I will not be interested in doing that. It's a good question, though. It's going to be interesting to see what comes around when Lord of the Rings enters public domain. It's also going to be terrifying. I think of Winnie the Pooh recently entered public domain, and the first thing we saw was a horror film with Winnie the Pooh. I mean, we don't need that kind of trash, but it's going to happen. I don't disagree that anime might be a really interesting format, Tim Talk, on for Silmarillion stories, but especially Studio Ghibli. But it's the rights aren't going anywhere. It sure would be good. I think it does lend itself more to individual stories. In fact, perhaps even television. But all right. Okay, so we need to travel to Mirabel and try to stop Amarthiel. That's on the far side. Okay, so the Angrim one, I'm just going to remove it from the quest guide. All right, so it looks like we need to head west from here. All right, let's see. I'm following Katie, who is leading me out in the correct direction. Because you know what would happen if I did it, right? I'd find a very tall cliff. I would fall off the cliff, and I would die. And I would say I didn't think that cliff was that tall. Dunlendings. All right. How are you fast? Oh, of course you're faster because you've got a legendary equipped, and I'm, without that. Okay, the library at Tom Mirdine. So this is it. No, this is not it. This is the library. I don't want to go to the library. I want to go to. Okay, sorry about that. Let me take a look real quick. PPP Plays LotRO. Yeah, Bree Crossroads is indeed Katie. But now we want to go back here and turn the other direction because I followed Katie and she led me to the wrong place. But that's okay. Oh, what do you mean need to go around? Yeah, I know. Isn't that what we're doing? Oh, this guy's going to want to get killed. Yeah, if Aragorn can go and become king of the reunited king of Gondor and Arnhem, he was 88. I think he could write an adaptation. I am not really the man of the West. I know it's hard to believe, but I am not actually a Dunedain. I don't have an extended lifespan. No apologies needed. I was just giving you a hard time. Yeah. All right. Do. All right. I think we're going to get across here and start the quest. Now, Katie, if you join me on this quest, hold on a minute. Actually, I need you to stop the instance before we start. If you can pop back out, I won't get the inspiration. So that means I'll be very squishy. And one foul move and I'm dead. So should I go ahead and do it solo, do you think? Because otherwise, you're going to have to be like aggressively protecting me. All right. I'll go ahead and just kick you out of my fellowship then. Oh, no, you're already gone. Okay. It was a nice idea. I appreciate it. Oh, he says a Region. Ow. And do whatever they must to foil the plans. That breaks my heart. That breaks my word nerdery heart. Thank you for your overeagerness, Katie. I really appreciate it. You're also overeager to take me to the library because there's a really cool instance there. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. All right. Here we go. Because once I get started in this, this is a really important instance. Let's get in here. No. A gravely wounded Liardan lies at the base of the bridge. I was a fool to be deceived so easily by Amarthiel, and it has led to this. There is hope, however, for she left me alive. Perhaps, if she can be hindered from reforging Narwhal, Narmaleth may be reclaimed. Poor guy. To enter into Tam Mirdine, you will need to defeat the Gorthorog, who holds probably Gorthorog. You will need to defeat the Gorthorog, who holds the keys to the forges. Yeah, because it's. I'm just trying to think. No, because it's only the single consonant, so it's Gorthorog. I was thinking of Nargothrond because, of course, it's Nargothrond, but that's because you've got the TH and the R after that, following that vowel. Here you only have the R following that vowel, so it's Gorthorog. All right. That's really pedantic, isn't it? Yeah, they do say Megavanen, which is another thing. Did they, Katie? They corrected that in later areas. The Megavanen then? Or did they correct Region? Anyway, as long as they didn't have Iluvatar. I am indeed. So then he says, to enter into Tam Mirdine, you'll need to defeat the Gorthorog who holds the keys to the forges. His name is Strock, and he is a mighty foe. Hurry, Hilbern. There's little time to lose. No! Well, That's unfortunate. Now, I suppose we probably could get away with trying to just simply not fight all these guys, but they're just going to come after me at some later point. So let's just do this. I don't even put that effort into English. All right. I'm trying to avoid. Maybe it'll be easier to just shoot the singles over here on the one side and avoid the clumps of three. I do want us to actually get through this instance tonight. I don't want to only get part way. Thank you, Katie. It is indeed helpful. Okay. What do you mean target not in line of sight? There we go. I forgot to set the traps. I'm going to pay for that. Oh, man, I hit him with Bard's arrow, and I thought for sure he'd turn around and run. But he did not, alas. Hold on. I don't want to draw out the door warden until those guys over there are done. So let me take him out. Also, it looks like I need to probably go ahead and do a purge poison. All right, let me go ahead and get these three. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Thankfully, rain of arrows certainly helped. Okay. Defeat the door warden Strock. So something tells me he's going to come out here. Missing required key. Okay. Maybe Strock's up here. No. Maybe Strock's over here. No. Well, when in doubt, use track foes, right? Huh. Over and up to the left. From where I'm facing now? Or from when I look at the door? Left is relative. Left from when I'm facing the door or left when I was facing opposite? Yep, doesn't help me because I don't know whether you're asking left from the door, north, south, east, or west. Away from door. Okay, so when I'm facing away from door, left and up. Okay. All right. Thank you, Katie. Appreciate you. It's been so very long since I've done this. A little worried about these alerted warriors. I'm going to shoot them down. Oh, great. I just pulled 7 of them. That isn't quite what I intended to do. But, I am Hilbern, the River Hobbit, and extremely tough to kill. I found the Aged Manual of Ring Lore. The Sisto Cardinal Directions. They're just the cardinal directions, except that Let's see. I found something. All right. So maybe in here. Oh, yeah. That's a big dude. Looks like a guy named Strock, right? Good. More bodies for the pile. Let's hope you have more fight in you. What? Ignores traps. I see. Does he ignore Bard's arrow? He does that too. All right. I've got a thing to interrupt here, but I don't remember what it is. Wonderful. I just couldn't remember what my interrupt skill. Oh, it's probably low cut. No, I don't remember which one it is anymore. All right. Blind side. That's what I thought. It's it's. Where do I even have that? Is that something I haven't even earned yet? Maybe. Might be why I couldn't find it. All right. Deed bestowed. All right. Now I can enter Town Manodyne. Thank you, Katie, for pointing me in the right direction to kill that large, ugly guy. All right. And the Coke is done. So, left. So what's going to left? See, when I say something, the problem is there's about a 20-second delay between when I say it and when I see something in chat. So left. Doesn't tell me anything. Okay. All right. Oh, well, that's a lot of pale folk. Let's see how many people I can hit with Rain of Arrows these days. A lot of them, apparently. When we see Soderman with Gown of Fedora, I think we're told he wears a ring. Or possibly do someone gain possession. Actually, I think we talked about the essentially, not very powerful thing that must have been, but it would have been powerful in his hands, powerful enough. Why am I still? But yeah, it would have been a minor, it would have been his attempt at a ring of power, because of course he did try, essays in the craft, as we know. But yeah, what would the power have been? I don't know, actually. That's a very good question. I would imagine that the power would once again depend on who got it, because you think about even the One Ring. You think about the One Ring, it would have been very different in the hands of, say, Gandalf than it would have in the hands of, say, Galadriel, or in the hands of Aragorn. So I think, just like with the Rings of Power, even the three, they're very dependent on who it is that wears them. So I think that's going to, if Merry happens to get a hold of it, it's not going to be anywhere near as powerful as if Gandalf gets a hold of it. I don't have enough focus. All right. I do like that. All right. There's a dusty manual over here. You read it, and it says, have you tried turning it off and on again? All right. So we came in through that way. We can't go that way. We can't go that way. I think this must be the direction we're supposed to go. Yeah, I think it's a real ring, but it's a real ring that doesn't have a whole lot of power, because he's Saruman. He's not. He doesn't actually have the power that he thinks he has. Well, hello. Hello. Didn't expect you guys here. Well, that's some charming artwork. Put your back into it. That sounds like orcs. Put your back into it. All right. Do I go that way? Doesn't look like I can. Looks like I need to go this way. Which is cool because then I get to see that really cool piece of art. I'm going to have to take out the Gorthrog champion here. I must warn the others. No, actually, shoot. Yep, he's going to warn the others, and I'm not going to be able to. Okay. Okay. Why do I have to create so many hunters? The architecture design here is indeed... Ooh, that's creepy. Getting some despair. His power reminded me, I'm sure, is inspired by it. Saruman of many colors. He's self-proclaimed Saruman of many colors. Oh, I'm now student of Celebrimbor. And oh, this is bad. That's bad. Find the ring forges. Well, that looks like I'm headed in the right direction, but I think the forges are behind that door. Whoa, okay. I'm like, why can I not focus? And it's because I was in combat already. Well, that's weird. I thought I already killed them. Oh, of course. That's why you want to kill those little horn blowers fast. Wow. That was nice. Man, they're just everywhere, aren't they? Well, if we've got pale folk horn blowers, do we have pale folk proud feet? I have not yet watched Strange New Worlds. I've just not had time to watch really anything. So my Star Trek lore knowledge ends with DS9 pretty much. Next Gen and DS9 was what I watched in their entirety, and then I've watched a few of the other ones. I think I dabbled with Enterprise. I dabbled with. Obviously, I've watched the movies, the rebooted movies as well, but that's about it. I haven't even watched all of Picard. I think I watched the first season of it, and I have not watched the rest. Okay, that's got to be the big stuff right there. Because notice that you can't attack them yet, because they're yellow. So let's kill everybody else first. DS9, man. I was just watching a clip of that. It's very. I saw it on social media. It was that amazing conversation between Cisco and Gul Dukat, where Gul Dukat was just finally, how much he hated. Oh man, it's so good. All right, let's do this thing. Lamb and onion soup. That's a cooked food, and then I can have a fortifying food. Then I can have a trail food. All right, here we go. Lower decks. Yeah, I heard about that. I am actually, I would like to see that. The mistress foresaw that she would come. The mistress foresaw that you would come. She said, you have proven most resourceful in the past. However, I fear that resourcefulness will not avail you this time. No, it will not, actually. It's one adaptation that you could have full directorship over. What would it be? Ooh, and it doesn't have to be Tolkien. But can it be Tolkien? They're doing such a good job with Foundation. Not that it's anywhere near lore accurate. It's just a really good show. So, let me think about that one. Good question. Really good question. I'd say the rest of Expanse because they haven't finished it, but I don't know that it can. If anybody's read the latter books, it gets pretty wild. All right, here we go. This is all story stuff now. Look who it is. The Ring Forges in Eregion. They're nowhere near up as high up in the tower as we thought they'd be. You have sacrificed much to arrive here, Hilbern. Yet all of your efforts were for naught. You are too late. Narwhal has been forged anew. However, I do not wish to seem ungrateful, for you have proven a boon companion in all my labors. Good heavens, she's talking fast, so I will allow you to be the first to fall before Narwhal reborn. Come now, claim your reward. Wow, she's nasty, very powerful. And none of my stuff really works on her. Like a trap, give me a break. That's not going to do anything. Pinning shot, that's not going to do anything. She just ignores the trap. And even with +5 hope, look at my situation. Holy smokes. I've only got her down part way. This is going to be interesting. The good news is, even with that despair, she's not able to take much off my. That is with a hope token. That's with a +5 hope token right there. Oh, I forgot to add fire to my arrows. That might help a little bit. What was she reforging? She was reforging Narwhal, one of the lesser rings of power. You have fought well, but it is time we end this. Behold the power of Narwhal reborn. A booming voice echoes, Mistress Amarthiel, the true Lord of Angmar, requests your presence. Oh, it's Mordrimbor. I need to do my Mordrimbors. Mordrimbor, what madness is this? Mordrimbor, Lord of Angmar, you seek above your station, fool. Narwhal is mine once more, and none shall stand against me. Oh no, mistress, thou dost not take my meaning. I spoke not of myself, but of another. As I said, Angmar's true lord bids thee to come before him. Everybody's speaking too fast. Come then, mistress. I will bring thee into my lord's presence to put an end to your questions. Let us first make certain this rabble dare not disturb us. Okay. Seriously, why is it that sometimes the quest text moves so slowly, it's painful, and at other times you can't read it out loud? Okay, here we go. Now, Mordrimbor, you see the power of Narwhal. Come, tell me, who is this master of Angmar of who you spoke? Thou shalt see for thyself. Look to the skies. Behold the master of Angmar. Mordred, how is this possible? Foolish Amarthiel, my spirit is bound to the Witch King. It would take more than an elf sword wielded by a worthless ranger to defeat me. Although formless, my spirit remained in my master's service. In his dark city, I was reclothed. I knelt before him, seeking both forgiveness and permission to exact my revenge. He bid me wait, wishing to see how his realm fared under your command. Seeing his growing displeasure, I entered into a pact with Mordrimbor. In return for his betrayal of you, I would permit him to take Narhuil for his own. He readily agreed. Now, Amarthiel, once champion of Angmar, will you stand aside for Angmar's true lord? Stand aside? Fool! See the power of Narhuil reborn! Your choice comes as no surprise to me. Indeed, the Witch King foresees all things. He knew regaining Narhuil would lead you into folly. Narhuil is powerful, true. It holds no sway over me. My power flows from the Lord of the Nazgul himself. Now behold your undoing. Mordrimbor, your prize awaits. Thank you, my lord. I have long awaited this day, mistress. Allow me now to relieve thee of thy burden. Cease thy struggles. Narhuil is mine. Good, my servant. Now, finish your task. End her life. As you command. Stay your hand. Ardan. No power over me, Mordorith, for I know your true name. I remember when your armies routed Angmar on the fields of Fornost. I remember the brave king who foolishly rode forth to Minas Morgul and was lost. I remember when you were called Earnur and were the Witch King's most hated foe. Silence! That name means nothing to me. Mordrimbor, take his voice. With great pleasure, my lord. You shall pay for what you have done to my daughter, beast. Ha! It is thou who hast met thy end. That was quick. Narmeleth. Only. Dunakar. Father. Ah! Right in the middle of all this? Of course. I'm so sorry. I don't know. There's no way to pause this. What happened? I hope it hasn't been too long. Well, hopefully you got it from some of the voice work there. Questions on what people missed, because I wasn't aware of what had happened. I couldn't. Shoot. It's been at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes. All right. Before I click on this and continue, folks missed some very big stuff. So we got the reveal of Earnur as Mordorith. That was pretty cool. And we got the slaying of Mordrimbor by Amarthiel. And now Amarthiel is weeping. Okay, you saw Lyrdan show up. So Lyrdan showed up and cut out about the point the servant took her life. Well, the servant didn't take her life. Mordrimbor was unable to do that because Lyrdan showed up. Lyrdan said to Mordorith that he remembered who he was, that it was Earnur, the king of Gondor, who had been called to combat by the Witch King. So that's the big reveal, the idea, the headcanon, since we don't actually know what happened to him, that instead of being slain by the Witch King when he went forth in single combat to Minas Morgul, he was actually converted and became a wraithified servant of the Witch King of Angmar and became his steward as Mordorith. And then, of course, Mordredbor was supposed to kill Amarthael. And that's, like I said, that's when Lyrdan came out, had that moment with Mordredith. And then Lyrdan and Mordredbor got into it. Mordredbor kills Lyrdan, and Lyrdan then tells Amarthael tells his daughter, actually, Narmaleth, what to do in order to kill him, and he does. So, yeah, the last king of Gondor. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Great way to fill in the blanks. If you're going to write an epic story and not have it be something that everybody knows because we all know all the details in Tolkien, if you got to fill in the blank to make it interesting, that's a heck of a blank to grab. So, yeah, really, really good stuff. But now we have a weeping Narmaleth or Amarthael, and we've let her cry far too long. She's lost her voice. Let's go talk to her. Amarthael pays you no mind, for her grief is all-consuming. Although she has suffered terribly at the hands of her former allies, she may yet pose a threat to the north. You must take her away as a prisoner of the Free Peoples and leave her to their mercy.
All that she desired seemed within her grasp, yet her father's betrayal of the Free Peoples was rewarded with betrayal against her. Mordredith has returned, and Eriador stands on the brink of conquest by the forces of Angmar. As for Amarthael, what future awaits her? Her fate is uncertain.
So now we have taken her in, and we're going to talk. Master Elrond awaits you in his library, Hilbern. You should speak with him at once. All right. So I can't go and talk with... Can't go and talk with Amarthael? No? I've never done this. I've never gone past. I've always said, oh, yeah, if I'm supposed to go talk to Elrond, I'll talk to Elrond. But she's in prison here, isn't she? No. Not that I expected to be able to talk to her. All right. We're going to go ahead and port over to Elrond. I'm so sorry about the technical problem there. And I don't know why that's happening, because there's no real logical reason for it to be taking place. We're not having HDCP handshake problems. We're not having bandwidth issues. I'm using, the highest bandwidth cables that exist. So I don't know why that's happening, but I will try to solve it. Katie, in the meantime, one thing that might, just a quick thing, text me like over and over and over, like make our private chat fly, because I'll see that movement out of the corner of my eye and look. But I was so buried in the performance of that instance, I don't know that I would have even seen that. So yeah, I'll definitely look into it, see if I can recreate it. It's a very weird problem. I can't, yeah. I'll look into it, figure out what we can figure out. But in the meantime, let's talk to Elrond.
A strange fate brings you hither.
The shadow has not yet lifted, not as long as Narchuil rests in the hands of Mordredith. But you have scored at least one major victory for Eriador. Amarthael has been captured. Alas, though, for the loss of Lyrdan. He thought he could bring forth his daughter from Amarthael. We must learn whether he succeeded. So we can get some nice little armor, some shoulder guards, but they're not really anything compared to what I've got. So we're going to go, because of course these are below level quests, right? This is, I'm over leveled already. So now we're moving into book 15, chapter 1, A Strange Fate. I am concerned, Hilbert, as I'm sure you are, by the capture of Amarthael. Though she has been stripped of Narchuil, she may still pose some threat to the unwary. It is no small choice deciding the fate of Amarthael, but there are other pressing matters. Strange news has come in from my scouts in the south. I must concern myself with these things as well as others. and I have tasked none less than the elf Lord Glorfindel with the matter of Amarthiel. See what counsel he can give you, and maybe you can offer him some aid in rendering his judgment. You may find Lord Glorfindel outside of my house to the southeast. All right. Finally talk about this. Yes, now that we know that's Arnor. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Really, really good stuff. All right. Sorry. Yeah, no, hopefully you won't have to. Our private chat's the only one that I'll see more readily because it's closer to my eyeballs here than the regular chat. So that was, you did the best thing. All right. So let's go talk to good old Glorfy. I'm just randomly going to throw out stuff. I have faced the Nazgul before. They are terrible to behold. Yes, they are. Not sure that Rovanian, it's got the ION ending like a Region. And I believe that's just land. But I'll take a look.
How can I be of service?
The matter of Amarthiel is grave indeed. It is a strange fate that Amarthiel, or Narmaleth as she now wishes to be called, is again imprisoned where she was once held for so long. She must be questioned, and though Master Elrond has bidden me to address this matter at once, I still have many other duties to which to attend. I would ask you to go and speak with her. Perhaps you may glean some information of use from Amarthiel. Hilbern, beware her words. This might again be some trickery on her part, though my heart counsels me that she speaks true. Talk to Narmaleth at Delossad. All right. No apologies needed. None at all. Okay, so she's all the way down there. All right, so we need to port to Echad Candelith. Thank you for listing that the word nerdery there, because that's going to be key for me later. No, not a whole lot later. It's already 10 after 7. Wow. All right, let's go down here. We'll port to Echad Candelith swiftly, and then go find Delossad. It's always interesting where you can port and where you can't, right? Like, why can't we go directly to her? I don't know. Good night, Nate. Swift recovery. Actually, I guess we'll just hop off here and get on our horse again. Is it still night? Oh, 16 minutes till dawn. That entire thing, and it's still nighttime in the game. I think I need to go back this direction and around. Hey, Aure and Tuluva, but not yet. Oh, hello, troll. Swimming, swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Ah, there's Muildir. Looking for Scully still, though. All right. go have a little chat with raise a show of hands here. Do we think that Narmaleth is really Narmaleth, or that she's still a Marthiel? Who do we think she is? I guess we'll know, because if the little despair meter starts pinging, we'll know. You are allowed to vote. All right. We'll see to it that she doesn't leave the castle. Except with you. I'm trying to remember some of the lines. I'm completely drawing a blank. But they made me think of the guards from... All right, here we go. I am surprised, Hilbern. I had not thought that you would be the one who should choose to come and listen to a broken elf maiden's tale. By the way, all these things that give me legendary item experience, they go along this track called the Legendary Items Rewards track. Because I haven't qualified to get an LI yet, none of this is contributing any points at all. I was like, okay, I may not have a legendary, but I've been earning all these LI points, on the reward track. Surely I have something. No, I have nothing at all. All right. Aure and Tulava for context. Yeah. Is Day Shall Come Again. Though few believe it, I have been freed from the evil that once ensnared me. It was as the lifting of a veil and a release from chains that held me for so long. Lathian, released from bondage, right? The Lay of Lathian. What was the bondage that Luthien was bound to? It was, the fact that elves have to live forever, and she was released from that. This is different chains, but it's definitely got that same vibe. Released from chains does feel like released from bondage. I am no longer consumed by the ring, Narquil, nor the desire for it. I have dire news, a warning for those that would listen. As a Marthiel, I had heard whispers of a hidden city of the Dunedain, Esteldine. I had sent out a master spy to divine its location, and by now they surely must have located it. The Rangers must be warned of this threat. If the spy is able to infiltrate Esteldine, they will move a large force against it in secret. Travel to the North Downs and warn the leader of this camp against the treachery that I have sown. Sorry, can't read. Poof. I kind of wanted to be brought here and have it be like just all ash, like it's too late. No, I don't want that. Who am I kidding? All right, we're far enough away that I'll need a horse. Come on. It's not up here, is it? It's not. I'm trying to remember where it is. Is it going to be up here? That's interior quest location. That's interior quest locations. Talk to Halberad. I don't remember which one he's in. No, it's not that one. Must be this one. Yep, it's this one. Imagine Narmaleth and Turin's kids. That's a terrifying thought. The Rangers of the North are in need of hardy folk who seek to aid in the defense of the southern lands.
What do you need?
What brings you to Esteldine this day, Hilbern?
Might I take a moment of your time?
A spy among us here in Esteldine. It seems unlikely that a spy would be able to penetrate our ranks, and even less likely given the source of this information. If you insist upon pursuing this matter, go and speak with the refugees that were recently rescued from Angmar. Doubtless you will find that they are simple herdsmen and farmers. Speak of the refugees outside of the library, near the craft hall, watching my kinsman train, and by the stable master. Though I see little wisdom in trusting the words of the enemy, Hilbern. He's got another quest, but it's old stuff, book 3, chapter 1. So we'll come back and see him when we do the early quests that we talked about. It'll be a little while now, obviously. Speak to the refugees. So there's ones where again? Outside of the library, near the craft hall, watching the rangers train by the stable master. Well, the craft hall is... Oh, here's the one by the library. I have seen nothing strange since I left Angmar, Hunter. And up by the craft hall, which is back here, the craft hall of Esteldine.
The Kruger Org are surrounded by enemies.
A spy? Friend, I have seen many things, but no spy. Sure, I'm just going to believe these guys. Where are the other ones? Watching the rangers train by the stable master. Well, we know the stable master's at the front of the town, the west side. Watching them train would be over here.
You're beset on all sides.
I would not even know how to recognize what you seek, Hunter. I am but a simple farmer. So you say. Ah, one of them is missing. Let's go talk to Halberad, shall we? I think I'll have to experience more of the epic before I can answer the question about a favorite Grey Company member, since I'm kind of haven't covered any of the Rohan stuff. Well, not none of it, but none of the later stuff. Oh, excuse me. Oh, wrong one. One of the refugees is missing.
Would you do something for me?
Those whom we take under protection here in Esteldine are not allowed to depart without my leave, under penalty of death. This is the law, and it has protected us and kept us hidden from our enemies. It is likely that this refugee is only returning to her homestead and that she is no spy, but she must still be brought to judgment for breaking the laws of Esteldine. Search the easternmost pass into Angmar and bring back the refugee, be she spy or otherwise. I think she's a spy. All right, let's go ahead and get on our horse, because we're going to have to head over to all the way to the far side. And there is no beam over there. There is no quick port. I think we'll be able to do this one and maybe one more step on this quest line before we'll quit and do a little word nerdery before we wrap up tonight. And then we'll do one more session on Saturday before Tales of the Shire next Tuesday. All right. So we're just going to zoom across the land here. Thankfully, we're high enough level now that the dire wargs just look at us and go, "Oh, no, please, not me, sir. Just leave me alone." Ah, rich gold deposit. Once again, my jeweler will appreciate me retrieving this. Yeah, five nuggets or five ore, useful for sure. Tales of the Shire comes out a week from today. Tuesday the 29th. Well, I don't know that there is a road to where we're going. We don't need roads. Also, though, I know this region relatively well, unlike some of the others, so it's one that I feel confident in not getting entirely lost. Wow, how is that for a sculpture, for a statue, huh? I'm going to stop and take another look at that. That's just nasty. Wow. Yep, that's where we're headed, though. I think this spy is close. Aha, there she is. Oh, hello, Alice.
You come at a perilous time.
Lay down your weapons and walk away, Hunter. I will not be stopped. Oh, okay then. You're kidding me, right? Oops, what did I just do? All right. Now we're going to port back to talk to Halbrand. Argonath from Timu. That's a good one. Oh, man. Timu Argonath. All right. Let's talk to Halbrand. Hey, Halbrand, that spy you didn't think had shown up? I killed her.
Greetings.
This was a spy. I am sorry for mistrusting your counsel, though doubtless even the wise would not see aid of this nature coming unlooked for from such an ally. Halbrand's trust, a little speed boost, an evade rating, and maximum morale. Actually, yeah, I don't really need might or vitality. I mean, 13 vitality would be made up for by the 76 max morale, but I get an extra out of combat run speed. I'll take that.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Estelle Dean remains hidden, and though I am glad the disaster was averted, I still do not wholly trust the counsel of Amarthiel. No, Maleth, who for so long brought strife and war upon us. She may still have a great store of information to offer our cause, so you may return to Delossad with my thanks. But be wary. I am not wholly convinced that she can be trusted in all matters, and that this is not some grand scheme of the enemy. Thankfully, you will be transported directly to Delossad when you accept this quest. Switch Xbox or PC. When in doubt, get it on at least the Xbox, if not the PC. Don't get a Switch version. If you need portability, get it on the PC through Steam, and then play it on your Steam Deck. I wouldn't. The Switch hardware is not going to do it any good. Yeah, I would do Steam. Oh, I lost. I got missed. No. Oh, that's right. No. thought it was over this direction. And then through here, right? Oh, and then, no. Ah, that's right. Just keep going. I am glad that at least one of my wicked deeds has been amended. There are so many others whose weight I must bear for the rest of my days, however few those might be. I am glad that you have returned, Hilbern. I was not always as you have known me, for though I was doomed to failure, my heart's intentions were ever true. Alas, that shadows will corrupt even the noblest of cause. I have much to tell, if you will hear me. I will accept this, but we're going to have to do this next time because it's a lot of story and it's good story. So we'll do that later. Let me go ahead and exit the game. And kill the second screen. Bring this over here and just catch up on chat real quick. Yeah. Oh, getting some things here. Oh, some of the word nerdery. I'm going to pull up I actually pretty sure that I did word nerdery on those in today's Tolkien Times. So I just need to pull up my Word Nerd Wednesday spreadsheet, unhide all the rows because I've obviously, if I'm in I'm writing week 89 now. So clearly there have been quite a few. So if I look for Eregion, it looks like I did not do that one yet. I know I didn't do Rovanian. That's not one that I would have expected. Austin Evil, did not do. Okay. All right, so I'm going to undo that unhide. And then let's take a look. Oh, I got to pull up the chat overlay. Thank you for that reminder, Katie. Now, folks on YouTube and Twitch can see what everybody is saying on those platforms. Let me go ahead and pull up what I would always use to help me build my word nerdery here. All right, let's take a look at Eregion. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's literally Holland. The ION ending is region or land, right? We see that in words like, well, usually it's not the ION, it's just ON. So we see it in Dorthonian, land of pines, right? Nanduhirion, Rovanian, Kalanarthon, all of those are, have that ION ending that just simply means region or land. Similar to Dor, right? I mean, it's not the same root or anything, but just like we see Gondor and Eriador, the ION ending just means region or land. And Ereg is holly or thorn. And we really only see that in Eregion, at least most of the time. We do see, I'm trying to think if there's some other appearances of it. I'm looking to see. No, that's really it. There are some things in the etymologies that we see that are related, but in the actual published legendarium, we don't see another Ereg. But Ereg is holly tree, and it's from a root Eric, meaning thorn. So that's that one. And then we want to take a look at Austin Evil. And then we want to also take a look at Gwaith Imirdine. Katie, I'm having a hard time. Thank you so much. My goodness, Katie has sent me so many things in chat to help me. I'm limited only by the size of my phone screen, not being able to find to read everything as carefully as she put it all together. But she's a huge help there. So thank you, Katie, for that. Indeed, Gwaith Imirdine is people of the jewel smiths, right? So that's Mir was jewel, Dine is people, right? Like Edine. So we've got, Mirdan is jewel smith, singular as opposed to Mirdine. That comes from Mir and Tan, which is builder. A couple other things. We really see that in Kirdan's name, right? Shipbuilder or shipwright. That same Dan, which is mutated to the Dan, is the root is TAN, but it's also mutated in Mirdan. So it's jewel builder, just like Kirdan is shipbuilder. So Mirdan is one person who is a jewel builder or jewel smith. Mirdine is plural, just like Adan and Edine. And then we get Gwaith is people or sometimes region. We don't see that a lot in the form Gwaith. We usually see it in as Wyth. So we drop the G and we see it in things like Forodwaith, which is both the Northmen and the North region. We see it in the region Enidwaith, which is the middle region. Trying to think of some others. I think we see the word Haradwaith, which just means South folk. It's the men of the Harad. So that's Gwaith e Mirdine. E is just the. So people, Gwaith, e, the, Mirdan, singular jewel smith. So Mirdine is plural jewel smith. So it's the people of the jewel smiths. Ost in Ethil. Ost, of course, is a fortress or a stronghold. We see that in Belagost. We see it in Angranost, Fornost, Osgiliath, all of those things. So it's just a fortress or stronghold. In is just a mutated form of the same I that we get in Gwaith e Mirdine, but you would always add the N if the next word begins with a vowel. So Gwaith e Mirdine, you just do the I, but Ost in Ethil, you have to put the consonant there. Just like we use a or an, depending on whether the subsequent word starts with a vowel. So that's fortress, and Ethel is just elf, right? So it's the elf fortress, the city of the elves. And let's take a look and see what else Katie helped me out with. Rovanian, more correctly, Rovenian. That's Sindarin for Wilderland. Let me take a look at that in more depth. And then I'm going to take a look at the chat real fast. Hassel. So do I think that the female elf in that story, so we're talking about Narmaleth, the daughter of Laterdan, would she be accepted into Valinor? The only reason she wouldn't be accepted is if she were a Noldor who was exiled. So, I don't know that it's a matter of being, I mean, she'd certainly have, when her body dies, she's going to have to go to the halls of Mandos. And I suspect there will be a fairly long wait before she's given a new body. She's definitely not Miglin. Hot place next to the Silmaril. Yeah. Yeah. Very special place. I'm just thinking of that scene in Firefly when Shepherd Book is telling Malcolm Reynolds not to go for this woman. If you've seen the show, you know which episode I'm talking about. And he says that there is a special place in hell for people who do that and people who talk at movie theaters. He's absolutely right. And then, of course, he says, a special place. All right. Rovanian, it's the same ION ending again, so region or land. This is from Rovan or wilderness. We really don't see that in any other places. It means wilderness, wild beast, or large beast. I'm taking a look at the actual elements and roots to see if there's even any cognates that we are familiar with, but really not. These are things that we would see only in Parma El de Lambaron number 17. But yeah, that's what that means. Were there any other words, Katie? I can't recall off the top of my head. We've covered Rovanian, we've covered Ost and Ethil, Region, a couple others. I think that's it, actually. Firefly should be on your watch list. It's one of the best shows ever. Plus, you can binge it in a whole weekend. There's like, what, 14 episodes in a movie? All right. I mean, seriously, I would have done a podcast on that, but 14 episodes, I'm only going to get, what, a season? Any other words from this region in particular that we want to take a look at? Or if somebody had one that I didn't cover that I forgot? Katie, I've got a question for you. Since we've got some folks here and not everybody listens to or watches today's Tolkien Times, shall we provide some teasers about the upcoming content since Series 12? Well, let's see. Series 11 ended just this last Saturday, right, with the end of week 88. So week 89 doesn't happen until August 11th. So we're giving a little bit of a heads up. But what do you think about teasing some of that content, since it's really not, critical? Not sure, because I asked. If I didn't ask, you would have given me, absolute grief for giving you all spoilers. All right. So on Mondays, we're continuing with Middle Earth Map Mondays. We are leaving Rohan behind as we finished Series 11 with Dimholt and the Dark Door. We're going to move through Anorion and take a look at the Beacon Hills over a couple of episodes, and then move into the Druidan Forest and Stonewine Valley before we go to the Pelennor and Ramas Ekor, and then Minas Tirith itself. And then if we have time, we'll go to Harland and South Ithilien. So we'll be checking out places in Gondor on Middle Earth Map Mondays. Turin Turinbar Tuesdays are ending, of course. Really can't continue the story with Turin dead and Nienor dead and Glaurung dead. So instead, we're going back to Tolkien Tuesdays. It's been a long time since we've been in the letters. In fact, I'm trying to see, the last time we did the letters was February 25th was the last time. So we are going back to the letters, the revised letters edition. So that'll be a lot of fun. You spoil crap before I should all the time. I'm like a banana or avocado that way. More like the avocado, full of healthy fats, really. The banana, not so much. So anyway, looking at the letters, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Wednesdays, we're going to be doing Word Nerd Wednesdays as usual, continuing with selections from our readings in Tuor. Thursdays, we're moving on. So this is where I'm actually getting to tell you some new stuff, right? So we've been doing poetry and songs in The Lord of the Rings for something like 6 or 7 series. I mean, it's been a long time. I'd have to check my spreadsheet because that's what I do. If I unhide all those, let's see. We've been doing poems and songs in The Lord of the Rings since August 1st of last year. So it will have been over a year by the time we move on. And we're moving on, and we're going to do a 7-part series on artifacts in the Third Age. Not artifacts from the Third Age. I mean, some of them might be. But these are like, what's going on with these artifacts that we encounter in the Third Age? We're going to start with a couple of ones that pop up in The Hobbit before we move on to The Lord of the Rings. So that'll be a lot of fun. Thank you, Hassel. The recent episode talking about the Dwarven languages. I know that it could have been either the one was it the one with Sarah as my co-host or the one with James as my co-host? Because we were talking a lot about the dwarves with Sarah, but we were talking a lot about the languages with James. It's been a lot of good stuff. And then, so Third Age Thursdays, moving on to artifacts. First Age Fridays are continuing as we continue of Tuor and is coming to Gondolin. That'll actually go not only through this series, but well into the next one, probably halfway through the next series. And then Saturdays are fun, right? We have been bouncing around the volume of the Silmarillion. We are now going to go back, since we finished the story, since we're in the story of Tuor, I should say, and get him coming to Gondolin. I thought it would be good if we spent a few weeks leading up to kind of the fall of Gondolin. So we're going to start with of Miglin, because if we're going to talk about the fall of Gondolin, we've got to start with Miglin. I saw Miglin appearing in the chat, Katie. So We'll get 5 episodes discussing Of Miglin from the Silmarillion before we start a very long run in Of the Ruin of Beleriand and the Fall of Fingolfin. And finally, for those of you who are patrons and get the bonus episode each week, we spent the last 2 series in Leaf, which is my favorite of the non-legendarium stories. We're moving on to Rover Random starting this series. So lots of fun stuff coming up. That is going to be the TTT in series 12, which will be weeks 89 through 95. And that's going to start August 11th and run through September 27th before we take a couple weeks off and head into October. In the meantime, of course, season 10 of the Prancing Pony podcast begins on Sunday, the 21st of September, right before Hobbit Day, with a very special interview. And we're actually recording that tomorrow. And I think that's about it. So, yeah, catching up here. Oh, speaking of TTT. Okay. So it was not the PPP episodes that you were talking about, of course, because you actually did mention TTT. So talking about the Dwarven languages, wow, I don't know when I talked about the Dwarven languages on the TTT. I don't remember, but I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Just catching up on anything more. A rover random adjacent quest in Dwelling. I didn't know about that. Fingolfin. Yes. Man, that's going to be I don't want to get there. I don't want to get to the fall of Fingolfin, but we've got to. All right. Well, if there are any more questions, now's the time, because I'm getting ready to wrap up for the night, and then we'll come back Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and we'll try to get through as much of this as we can. Ideally, we finish Epic Volume 1 so that later on, when we do return, we can come back and do the earliest quests, the ones that we skipped because we were in Swanfleet and Cardolan. All right. Well, folks, thank you again for everything. Appreciate your time here, and we will see you on Saturday. So thank you again. Appreciate you all very much. Have a wonderful evening. And good night, all.